Hopefully, you came to crypto for massive life changing gains. I know I did. And when done right, crypto can make you gains like nothing the world has ever seen. Now, today's show completely fits into my main goal for the Crypto Rain channel to grow the most financially successful audience in crypto. Now, one of the investments in crypto that, if done well, can be very profitable is buying and running nodes of great blockchain projects. If you have one or more nodes, you know you need to run them all yourself or outsource it to someone else. Myself and most of my friends outsource that to others. Now, through a friend, I recently met one of the best resources I have seen so far by a long ways in running the nodes for you. And I wanted to share with you his info, his story, so that if you are in a node project, you can spend less on having those nodes run so that your gains are much, much higher. This is not a sponsored video in any way. I have a lot of Myria nodes myself, and I recently moved over all my nodes to him and his team to run, and I get just the same price as you, and it saved me 60% every month on what I was paying before, and I had a good price before. So of course I had to pass this on to you, and I asked him to come on the channel, share with you what he was doing, because look, if I can use my channel to save you money every month on your node projects, that means better profits for you. And that leads to a much better return over time, which is what this channel is all about. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel and our family. Have you ever worried about money? Because what if you learn to use some of your money to work for you in just the right ways so that you never had to worry about money again? Isn't that why you're here? I grew up poor in life, and we didn't have money for anything but used clothes, the cheapest brands of pretty much anything. And yes, my school wardrobe consisted of garage sale clothes. Growing up poor, I realized the true value of money isn't that it creates happiness. It allows us options. And having money can also decrease that gnawing worry we carry of how do we meet all these financial obligations that are essential to survival. And when I found crypto 8 years ago, it wasn't long before I could see that crypto investment done right had the most amazing, massive potential to allow people to catch up, to get ahead, and to get to a place where they don't have to worry about money again. After 8 years of being in crypto, I know that crypto can and will change your finance and your life, but only if you are doing it right. While being in crypto, I learned something very scary. You see, I know people that have been here longer than I have, but aren't rich yet. Most are still stuck exactly where they were when they started, and some of them even behind. I also learned that 95% of people in crypto don't make meaningful money or flat out lose money. It is because they are just doing it wrong. Only 5% of crypto investors make life-changing gains that take them into the lifestyle we all dreamed about as kids. And haven't we learned in life that if you find what the successful 5% are doing and you copy exactly how they do things, you start having the same results? Well, I knew that. Coming into crypto, I then focused 100% of everything on figuring out what those 5% did and putting it into practice myself. And after just 4 years of using those principles, and by 2021, I was able to fire my day job, move to the city I wanted, and put myself in position to never have to work again if I didn't want to. And here in this channel is what I share, where I share what I learned. I share my research on the companies I like and why I like them. And today we have a special video of just a resource I wanted to share with you because he's saving me a bunch of money and my community members a bunch of money, and all of you hopefully watching this video. If you are running a node project, I bet you he can save you money on your monthly costs of running the nodes. So with that said, I want to introduce you all to Guy, who is a crypto investor himself, and he can share with you his story on why he created the best node running solution I've seen today, and let you guys get to know him a bit. Guy, thank you for joining us.
No, thanks for having me, Jay. It's good to be here.
Yeah, for the audience that doesn't yet know you, what got you into crypto originally, Guy?
Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting story. So basically in the 90s, I graduated from college, and funny enough, I I went on to get my master's in all things but marriage and family therapy. That's kind of what I wanted to do. And so it was just kind of an interesting path. I'm into giving back, and it just, my personality seemed to fit that. So I graduated. I was out of state, and I moved back to California, got accepted to Loma Linda University, and I started working on my master's. At the same time, my brother-in-law he had started a construction company, and he said, "Hey, I want you to be part of this. Why don't you come on over?" And I said, "Okay." So I basically went over, and in the day we would work on this masonry business, and then at night I would go to school, which was a long process because I was going part time, and along the way I had my 3 kids, and we just happened to be in the right place at the right time with the construction boom when we started this company. So as it started, it just started to grow and grow and grow, and we created a business where we had over like 500 employees, and things were going great. So when I graduated with my master's in marriage and family therapy, it no longer made sense to do that. So I just basically stuck with the career I had, and that's what I had pretty much done my whole life. Um, I'm a conservative guy, and so over the years I had many opportunities to invest in different things, but nothing really caught my eye. I just was more of a conservative investor and just kind of went through life. Things were going well, and none caught my eye to something I really wanted to do or felt good about. But about 7 or 8 years ago, I was introduced to blockchain, and right away I was drawn to blockchain because although it was in its infant stages, I could see with what was happening there, blockchains with the purpose that were tied to actual industries that were these blockchains could service and help, was something I could see the future was going to. I didn't know how, I didn't know really much about it, but my heart and soul was like, there's something here. And they weren't meme coins. They weren't things that just with hype, they went up and came down. They actually were blockchains with a purpose, is what I like to say. So I jumped in. I said, "Oh, you know what? I want to be part of this." But it's decentralized. So there was no playbook on how to do this. You joined a community. I purchased nodes. And then it was kind of like, go figure it out. And I'm just, well, how do you figure this out? You got to put them online. You got to do this. How does it run? And I realized real quickly that there were some problems with that model. But long story short, that's how I kind of got involved about 7 or 8 years ago.
So one of your first introduction was blockchain in general, but then like specifically finding blockchain projects that actually created solutions that had real world applications, which is where the best investment returns are, in my opinion. I stay away from, there's so much fluff in the crypto space. I look for companies that, like in the crypto space, that they're using blockchain to solve real world problems that will either decrease costs, create efficiencies or something. Those are the ones that I've found in my 8 years of crypto that perform the best over time, most reliably perform the best. So I focus 100% my effort on those. And some of those are node projects. So you were introduced to a node project, but at the time there was like very little documentation. You just knew you had to get it online and running and run your nodes in order to get tokens for it. And what happened from there?
So I jumped in, I started doing it, and I realized there were 3 problems with that model. The first one was they were very expensive to run. And I'm thinking, if you want to grow a community, people don't like high monthly costs. They put their investment, they buy the nodes, but then if you tell them, hey, by the way, you're going to be paying tons and tons of money to run these things, to me, it just was like, that's not going to grow a project. The second thing was that it was very difficult to put on, and you almost had to have a highly intense computer background to take these bash commands, to put them on, to keep them running, which was a problem. And then the third thing was there's no customer service, right? There was nobody to call and say, hey, how do I get this figured out? And, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I thought those are problems that have to be solved if this thing's going to really take off, whatever blockchain you're part of. So I went about first trying to solve the first problem. How do I get the cost down? Because for me, I was doing this for me. I didn't want to pay a lot of money monthly. I was willing to invest to get these nodes and then let them go. But I wanted to find where it was cost effective. So spent a lot of time doing that. And I was able to solve that problem. And as I solved it in the community I was in, word kind of got out that I was running these nodes. And sure enough, people started coming to me and asking if I could help them get these on. And I said, absolutely. So, in fact, my wife always would ask me, because this is a couple of years that I did this, that I would spend nights, basically just from 6 to sometimes 12 o'clock at night, just helping people put their nodes on and get them running so they could save the cost. And she often would say, why are you wasting? Why do you put so much time into this? She goes, you don't get passionate about many things. And I remember just saying, I can't explain it, but I just feel like this is something I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to help these people. And if I can help them get their nodes to run cheaper, and I can put them on and help them run them, it's a benefit. It's a win for the community. And I guess the best way to say, I was just drawn and felt like I should do it. So along the way, I started doing this and helping people. And but then I realized this isn't sustainable, because I can't spend all my time literally at night just helping people get theirs on. There's got to be an easier way. And that's when I came across my two partners that I have now, just phenomenal guys that are just uber smart. And we got together, and with their help, we solved the second problem of how to put these on to where the user can literally, we like to say, one click, put it, it launches, it goes, and they don't have to worry about that. Now, obviously, decentralization, everybody's in charge of their own nodes. And I tell them you should always check and make sure they're running. But we took a lot of that stress away by just being able to put them on, really easy. And we take care of the back end. And then, but we still had the customer service thing that we had to get through. And that's probably the thing I'm the most proud about with the company that we've got going, is that we have a customer support team that looks at and takes care of every email or call that comes in and is able to help people if they have questions. Every email that comes in that we help with any project goes through me, and I can see what's going on. And it's not uncommon for me to pick up a phone and call somebody and say, hey, because if things weren't going the way that I want, and helping and jump. So, in a long story short, those are the three things that we solved, and that's what we've been doing, for several years now, and just helping people.
Yeah. So to summarize, you had invested in a blockchain node business, and you just like, man, this is just too expensive and too difficult. Let me create some solutions to make it easy, not just for myself, starting with yourself, but then for other people. And then just everyone from the community heard about you and gravitated towards you. What's funny is I reached out to one of my good friends that I've known for 20 something years that's launched a blockchain node business. And I asked him who he ran, because he invested heavily to the tune that like most people can't fathom, buying nodes in his own project, because he didn't gift himself any nodes as the owner. He had to buy them himself. And I said, who runs your nodes? And he gave me your name. And I was like, well, it's a different company, different project. But I wonder if Guy could create a solution for the project that I'm invested in, Myria. And so, was put in touch with you, and you weren't running any Myria nodes at the time, but you created a solution, and then you gave me a price, and I was like, well, shoot, I already have a good solution, and that is 60% less than I'm paying for my current solution. And I was like, okay, is this going to be real? Because that would save me so much on my monthly costs, which would increase my profitability tremendously. I love it. And now we have them all set up, all running for Myria. And, you weren't running a Myria nodes at the time. You got your IT people on it and figured out what Myria needed and got it all set up. And then I was able to give you the API keys, and then you got them up and running. And now it's been running really smoothly. And we're able to create a solution for me, which I'm grateful for, because that's just going to lead to less monthly expenses, which just means more profit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's exactly what it is. Whatever community we get involved with, when I call a blockchain a community, my whole goal, or our goal, is just to help that community grow, right? And the way you're going to grow is by helping people save money, being there and taking a problem off their plate. And so what we do is we take the running of the node off their plate so they can focus on whatever they want to do. We take care of running that node. We take care of the price. We take care of the customer service that anything that they need. And so that's kind of been the avenue that we take. I get involved with projects. Anybody call me, and if I can help you, I can help you. If I can't help you, I can't help you. But along the way, I'm finding that we're able to help a lot of people, and it's just been a good solution, because as the block space, grows, this whole thing, that we all benefit. And so really, I'm here is just, if I can help you out and save money, hey, we're willing to do it. And if it's something I can't, that's the first thing I'll tell you, is that, hey, this one doesn't work for us. So from that beginning, we've had several blockchain companies come to us and wanted us to be their preferred choice. Now, blockchains can't tell you where to run your nodes. It's decentralized. They just get out there and say run it. But a lot of these companies want us to be their preferred vendor, because they know we're going to take care of them, and we're going to make sure that things go smooth. And it's been successful. It's kind of been a little bit of a crazy story, but it's been fun along the way. And I think that's kind of where my passion is now, is that I'm really into win-win. If I can help you guys be successful and just give a fair price, to where we're not trying to get rich off it, we just cover costs, and we figure out how to run them in a more cost-effective way, that it's fun. So it's something that I'm pretty passionate about now, that I never thought I would have been in the block masonry business years ago, right?
Yeah. So what are some of the current node projects that you're operating nodes for?
We've got several. We're, and these ones, I'm involved with too, as I look at them, and I end up buying nodes in a lot of these projects. One of the big ones we're involved in is Optio. It's a fantastic project that's basically, it's tied to really freedom of speech. And basically, as you look out in the world, that you see what happened years ago, when you heard of the app Parler, that was basically shut down overnight because big tech decided, hey, these guys weren't saying we wanted to. They shut them down. 20 million people's voices were silenced. And Parler came back, but they came back this time tied to a blockchain called Optio, so that moving forward, it's decentralized, that no big company can come and shut them down ever again. The node, the blockchain, runs that Parler operation. So they are 100% decentralized, and which is something that I'm passionate about, is that we should all be able to say and speak our mind and do what we want without fearing that we're going to be shut down. That's one of them. Another one we're involved with, TSC is another one. Nodi or Cirrus is one. And since you've, basically brought me Myria, I'm actually, looking into what that is. And if I believe in what the purpose is, I'll purchase nodes. So there's several. Those are just a few to mention that we're helping out.
Awesome. Yeah, that gives an idea. So if you're watching this and you are already, if you're investing in one of those projects, you already have some nodes, you're looking for a good solution, you haven't reached out to Guy, you might consider reaching him. If you're in a different node project, I suggest you just reach out to him. I was kind of like, my price is pretty good, but let me see. And I was just blown away at the price. And Guy's been so good to work with that I wanted him to join me for a video. This isn't sponsored. This is for you guys to have better options to decrease price. And it helps me with my goal of having the wealthiest audience in all of the crypto space per capita. Now, how do people reach you, Guy, if they're curious about if you could help them with their nodes?
There's a couple ways. I can just put an email out here if you want to put in your group chat, that they can send me an email. If you do, I would just say, put your phone number or whatnot. A lot of times I just will call people and say, hey, let's talk about what you have. If you have an individual node that you're running on a project, you can reach out to us. If you're a company that's out there that actually, is running a blockchain project that are looking for other options to run your nodes, reach out to us as well. We'll look at anything, and my dev team will decide if it works. But probably the best way is just to reach me at admin, which is, ADMIN at simple, SIMPLL.net. Just send an email, and like I say, if it's something we can help with, we will. If not, we'll always be upfront with you and say, this isn't something we can do. But like I tell people, hey, reach out. Like with yourself, it's like at first you're like, hey, can you even help us? And well, you've gone through the experience, and we took it. It took us a little bit of time to figure it out, but we came back and said, okay, this is what we can do. So yeah,
worked out great, and it's saving me a lot, which is good, because like the bear market has been long, and it just decreases the overhead every month. Well, I'm just letting the tokens accumulate. So,
Yeah, and one thing I will say is we're not like a big company that's out there that's advertising, that's going out there and trying to grow this thing. We literally are just kind of grassroots. We kind of mom and pop, just helping people with the best technology out there to run these most cost effective. So it's not like something you're going to go out there and Google and see a big presence, but that's not what we're about. We're about just the community, growing it, helping, and that's the way I want to keep it. I never want to get to the point to where we're out there trying to, make tons and tons of money and anything
we'll
like that.
charge huge amounts because that marketing has to get paid for by someone. And so
Yeah.
I like that I wasn't just to pay a lot higher price just so you could run marketing.
Yeah, and here's a webpage if they just want to go and you can see some of the projects. They're not all on there, but if you want to go to nodesupportcenter.com, NODE and then SU, of course, PPORT center.com, you can just kind of see a little bit of our presence there and some of the projects we're running. Not all of them, but some of them. Yeah, there's some of them there, and just kind of explains a little bit about it. Yep, there you go. And like I said, if you want to reach out to us through there or an email directly, you're more than welcome to do that. Yeah.
All right, Guy. Well, I appreciate you joining us. I appreciate you giving a solution for myself and my community at a cheaper price. Just helps my community get more profits when this bull market hits. Because I know most of my community members too. We're just accumulating these like Myria tokens. And some of my community members have other node projects they're involved with and accumulating tokens because it's not time to sell.
Yeah.
But it will be later when everything's going crazy and everyone's trying to get into crypto. Will be when we're actually selling our crypto because, I just believe in buying low and then selling high. And at that point, the prices go really high. Bad time to buy and a great time to be selling.
Well, no, you're exactly right, Jay, is that this is the time. Accumulation is the key right now. And this is where real wealth is going to be occurred, is as you run these nodes and over time, you're accumulating the tokens in a blockchain that has purpose, real life solutions. As this goes, there's going to be a lot of wealth transferred here. And that's where I'm at right now. And as we wait, down the road, when these things take off, no one's going to care what the price is to run these things because they're going to be making so much money. But until then, it's like, hey, let's keep the cost down and just help people weather the storm.
Yeah, completely agree. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, Guy.
All right. Thanks so much, Jay. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Take care.